Of all of the vast creatures available in the Pokemon universe, the first one that you encounter is the starter. Every generation has 3 starters to choose from, and they're probably the most iconic Pokemon of their respective generations. You use them throughout the entire storyline, most players do. And when a new game comes out, all the buzz surrounding it is largely at first focused around what are the new starter Pokemon going to be. The starters define each generation, folks, and some of them are more epic than others. We've got the iconic Squirtle on the screen right now. I'm going to be ranking every single starter Pokemon in the entire game, in the entire franchise, including the Hisuian starters from Pokemon Legends Arceus. I will be evaluating those ones based on their stats in the Gen 9 games, not in the original Legends Arceus games, where they have different properties, because I haven't played that game, but I've heard it's a good game. Haven't personally played it, I apologize. But first, we have here a very frighteningly accurate artistic depiction of dangerous Pokemon Iron Fellow by this person. And just want to remind you all that Iron Fellow is out there, is very real, and does in fact... This guy really just hates Jimothy Cool non-subscribers, so you guys better subscribe to Jim, or you might be in trouble. That's all I'll say. You might be in big trouble. That's all I'll say about that situation. Now, who's the worst starter of all time? There's so many starters, so many to choose from. Who's the absolute loser of them all? Well, I've gone with this one. The Gen 8 Water-type starter Pokemon Inteleon, I think, is the absolute worst starter Pokemon ever made. I think this Pokemon is an absolute travesty. Visually, this thing is just yucky. It's just like a human being that is a half lizard. It looks weird, it looks strange, and it has the hidden ability Sniper, which is like, you know, I sleep. This is not very interesting at all. It's really not a great ability. And does it have a signature move? I don't know. It just has very standard options for a water-type special attacker. Really, you know, Greninja exists. Many other water-type attackers exist that do all of the things that Inteleon do, but more. Have more, stand out more, look cooler, whatever have you. Inteleon sucks. Inteleon is horrible. I don't know if anyone's favorite is Inteleon. Some of them are out there. I mean, there are people out there who defend Iron Jugulis, so I suppose it's a vast community of people where it's a law of large numbers. Someone's favorite is Inteleon. I don't know what you're thinking, but sure. Inteleon exists, and I put it at the very bottom. For the second worst starter Pokemon, I went with Gen 5's Fire-type starter Pokemon Emboar. And the reason I've got this one so low, I think the visual design's pretty cool, but I think that this Pokemon is just big nothing in terms of gameplay. It is the third fire fighting type in a row. Gen 3, 4, and 5 all have fire fighting type starter Pokemon, and this one doesn't do anything that the other two don't. This one is just like, what if we made the same thing again, but it's worse than both the other ones? And for that, I just think they copped out. This is a lazy Pokemon. Sure, it's a pig. A pig is fun. I like its visual design, actually. That's why I put it above Inteleon. But in terms of gameplay, this is as basic as you get. Honestly. By the way, I haven't clarified, folks. This list is going to be based on a combination of all of the Pokemon's qualities. You know, their visual design, their gameplay design, how they fit into certain metagames, all of that. So a bit of a combination of competitive and personal preference, you know? A bit of a balance between them. For the third last on the list, we've got Delphox, who... I mean, I suppose Delphox stands out a little bit. It's a fire psychic special attacker. I think others exist with the same typing, but it probably has some unique qualities that help it stand out. I really dislike its visual design. I don't like these starters that are so humanoid like this. It's like a weird magician sort of design. I think it looks really bad. And it's very forgettable, I think. Especially compared to the other two starters of its generation. This is definitely the worst one. It's a bit of a snooze. I'm not a fan. Up next, we have one that is a bit of a shame. We have Meganium, who I actually like the visual design of this a lot. It is a nice dinosaur with a flower. It's a visually appealing and simple design, but the Pokemon simply doesn't do anything. I think that this is like one of the worst Pokemon. It just doesn't stand out at all. It's outclassed by like 100 other grass types. It seriously is not distinct in any way. Meganium is outclassed by perhaps the most Pokemon ever. There are so many Pokemon that do what Meganium can do and more. Its stats are nothing. Its ability, what even is its ability? Leaf Guard? Leaf Guard? Really? You gotta give some more respect to Meganium. Give it a new form. Give it a, I don't know, a Paradox evolution. Give it something. Give Meganium something. Because buff it. Randomly give it like pure power or huge power or something. I don't know. Do something for Meganium. Meganium fans are in shambles for like 20 years. This Pokemon is forgotten about. It's not even Meganium's fault, really. I like Meganium in a way, but I just have to say it's one of the worst in terms of simply achieving 0. This Pokemon does nothing. Anyway. Up next is Chestnut. This one is a little bit of personal bias in the fact that I really don't like the visual design of this. It's at least a little bit original looking. It's got like a shell. It's like a weird badger with a shell and spikes on it. Something about this just looks too like busy. I like a simple, elegant design. I think there's too much going on in this design. The colors are something about it. It's just off-putting to me visually. It's at least a unique type combo for a starter, right? I don't think there's other grass fighting starter, is there? I don't believe so. I didn't even know its ability was bulletproof. I mean, that's an okay ability. But this Pokemon's always lower tier. It doesn't really... It's got like Leech and... I thought it had rough skin, actually. Because it has spikes on it. I assumed it had like rough skin. You can't... Oh, it's got spiky shield. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's got spiky shield. So, it's got the whole spike theme going on, I suppose. It's alright, but... I don't know. I'm not huge on Incineroar. I just said Incineroar, which is actually the next Pokemon on the list, which I misspoke, but it's fine. We'll transition into Incineroar. This one people might take issue with. Incineroar, this one's in Smash Bros. It's a kind of a little bit of a fan favorite. I definitely have a personal vendetta against Incineroar. Because the one time I played VGC was in, I think, 2019, when Incineroar was just literally the... I have played competitive Pokemon for a long time. I have never seen a more centralizing Pokemon than Incineroar in that metagame. 2019 Sun Series VGC. I've never experienced a Pokemon being such an auto-include in a metagame. You literally need Incineroar on your team in that metagame, or it's a bad team. Objectively speaking. And every Incineroar also ran the same moveset of like Fake Out, Flare Blitz, U-Turn, and then I guess the last was filler, but I think it was usually like the same like knockoff. I can't remember. It's like Snarl knockoff, that kind of thing. It's just, okay, this guy comes in, intims both the enemies, and fakes out. I feel exhausted thinking about the value of an Incineroar switching in doubles. It like makes... Like the act of an Incineroar switching in with its stupid animation where it goes like this. It looks gross, man. Incineroar looks gross. It looks like a DreamWorks character. It looks like a combination of Garfield and the lion from Madagascar. And it's also muscular, and it's got this color scheme that looks like a frickin' furry OC. It's like neon fur. It's like this pure red fur. It looks like a fake creature created by a child. Or like... But it also looks like frickin' Garfield. I hate the way this thing looks. I hate its animation. This guy is a gross Pokemon. And I was sick of seeing this stupid guy with this stupid hand motion on every team in VGC. And I don't care if you're a fan of Incineroar. I'm just going to say Incineroar. I might even move him to the very bottom just out of pure hatred. We're going to switch Incineroar and Inteleon in post. Because, you know what? I don't want to look at this guy anymore, and we're going to move on. We're moving on. What's next? We have another unfortunate one, Typhlosion, who I think I might be wrong on this. If you look at Charizard's stats and Typhlosion's stats, I believe they're the exact same. When I noticed that, my respect for Typhlosion went down immensely. In Gen 2, they just took Charizard, copied its stats exactly, and removed its flying typing, and it's basically the same Pokemon. It got a bit more distinct later. I mean, Fire Flying became worse when rocks were introduced. It got Eruption. Eruption's cool. You can do Scarf Eruption, Typhlosion in some formats. What's its ability? Flash Fire. That gave it a bit more distinct against Charizard, but I do feel that Typhlosion is a little bit basic. It doesn't stand out very much, and I like its visual design though. I'll give it that. It's this fun looking. It's like a ferret with fire powers. It's a fun design. I do think Gen 2 had the weakest starters overall in terms of like being distinct and having some niche or some quality that stands out about them. They're all very basic, but yeah. And up next I've got actually Hisuian Typhlosion, who in some ways is almost more... How do you type Hisui, man? Okay, Typhlosion. There we go. There it is. Typhlosion-Hisui. I do like the visual design as well. I think Pokemon Legends Arceus had a lot of good visual designs. Some of the best in the franchise in ages. I think it was a whole new team doing it. Maybe a fresh set of eyes. People with some real passion. Resulted in some actual cool designs and fresh takes on existing Pokemon. Visually, I have no complaints, but I gotta say, we've already got Fire Ghost types in the game, and in terms of the ability, Frisk is like seriously a non-ability. You could have just copy-pasted any half-decent ability onto this thing, but you gave it Frisk of all things on Earth. It's seriously a disappointment, and I don't even remember its signature move. I think it's this, Infernal Parade. I remember it being basic. It's like Hex with Scold effect. I mean, I don't know, that's alright. It's just, there's just other Fire Ghost types that are going to stand out more and do more and have like actual abilities. That's why I find Typhlosion Hisui a little bit disappointing in terms of they had an opportunity to make a Pokemon that was, pretty basic, stand out a bit more, and they kind of fumbled the bag on that one. They fumbled it, I believe. Up next I have Torterra, who... I mean, many of the starters just have great visual designs, and I feel like a broken record, but I have to compliment the visual design of Torterra with the tree growing on its back. It's pretty awesome looking, but a grass-ground type combo just really sucks. It's ×4 Ice Weak. You think of like any other ground type ever. Ground types are some of the best in competitive. They rise to the forefront all the time. Grass-ground is just not a type combo that really works. Like, I don't know, it's unfair to compare this guy to Great Tusk. They don't operate in the same worlds, but you think of Great Tusk, it's just like, why would I ever use Torterra? In every format, there's going to be a better ground type than Torterra, pretty much. I think he's alright in, like, NU or something, but I don't know, man. I think they could have given it... I mean, I don't know. I guess they wanted to make it a bit unique. Grass ground. It's just not a type combo that works, really. It's not very good, is it? Up next we have Superior, which is... In terms of this thing... In like visual design, I think it's actually very nice. It's an elegant looking snake serpent creature. It looks cool. And in terms of functioning in competitive, it's also a tick. As soon as this guy got Contrary, it shot up into the forefront of OU. It was an excellent Pokemon. My reason for having this so low on the list is that I hate it. I remember I played a lot of Gen 7 OU when it was current, and I really hated playing against Superior. I really, Leaf Storm. 140 base power move that also boosts its special attack. It's like Nasty Plot plus Draco Meteor in one. And then they run a Choice Scarf, and it's like, okay, I'm always one turn away from a superior just Leaf Storming me to death. There was counterplay to it, of course. You know, you grass resists, whatever. Ways to check it. It wasn't like OP in a way that was like ban worthy or anything, but it was always just a frustrating Pokemon to fight, I think, in its ability to snowball so quickly. Gen 7 OU in general was a very fast-paced metagame where like it takes one turn and you're gone. Superior definitely added to that feeling where the leaf, and the fact that it also has glare, which it kind of creates these annoying 50-50s where glare is a normal type paralysis move, so it can hit ground types, it can hit ghost types weirdly. I don't think it should be able to hit ghost types, right? It's a normal type move, but it can hit ghosts. So you just have this way to cripple stuff that tries to switch in against the Leaf Storm, and you just create a 50-50 every time you're in, and I find this Pokemon just frustrating. But perhaps that's my preference. Maybe some people enjoy the way you can break through teams and the pace of Gen 7 and how this fits within that, so sure. If you like Superior, I don't fault you for that, I don't think. I can't fault you for that. Up next we've got Feraligatr. Might be a little bit overrated here. It's my favorite of the Gen 2 starters. One of my favorite visual designs. It's just a cool crocodile. Feels very like 90s, I don't know. It's this simple, cool crocodile creature. And what's funny, this guy has a small niche in Gen 5 OU and on rain teams, because it has like Swords Dance, Aqua Jet. I think it gets Dragon Dance later. Does it get Dragon Dance? They don't show any of that. I'm on the Gen 9 mode, so they don't show its move pool. And it gets Sheer Force, doesn't it? Let me actually change to like Gen 8. Did Feraligatr exist in Gen 8? I think it gets Sheer Force, yep. And it gets Sheer Force moves, so like of all the Gen 2 starters, this one stands out the most, right? It's got Sheer Force, it's got good offensive move pool, Aqua Jet, where it can do stuff in Gen 5 OU sometime. Not like it's that great, but it's been used. Yeah, I think this is the best of the Gen 2 starters in terms of like cool visual design. I saw someone complain recently about the fact that it doesn't have an O right there, like Feraligatr. It's like incorrectly spelled. I think it's because like in Gen 2 they couldn't fit that many characters or something. That's what I heard someone say. I like something cool about the fact that it's just Feraligatr without the O. It creates a little bit of mystique surrounding it, doesn't it? Whether intentional or not. Up next we have Samurott, who I really like the visual design of Samurott. It's like a cool otter thing. So I got a Windows notification that just tilted me and distracted me. The problem with Samurott is that it's bad and it has no ability, but you know, I recently made that video about Samurott and it gave me a new appreciation for it. The fact that it's like a cool mixed attacker in lower tiers. It's always really good in low tiers just because of its move pool. You know, in NU, among the low power level fellas where these stats are acceptable, having a good move pool puts you super high above. You got like Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Grass Knot, Knockoff, Megahorn. Really good move pool, so I suppose you could switch this and Feraligatr. They're fairly interchangeable, but I've recently got a little bit more appreciation for Samurott, which says like a water type mixed attacker in those lower tiers. It's kind of fun. Next up I have Primarina. Water Fairy type combo is unique. There are other water fairies like Tapu Fini, Azumarill, and I probably prefer those Pokemon, so it's not totally unique, but it does do different stuff. It's got a high special attack. I think it had like choice spec sets and stuff like that. It was like an offensive threat. And sound type moves become water type, so you can do like water type hyper voice for the fans, for the viewers at home. Are there any other relevant examples of that? Don't know. Doesn't boost the power of it either. Yeah, Primarina's like... I like the Water Fairy type combo. It's a really good type combo. And it stands out from the other Water Fairies a little bit. Nothing crazy or anything, but... And its design is fun. It's a nice, like, seal. With some stars and stuff. It's cool. Sceptile is up next. Grass-type starter from my favorite generation, Gen 3. And in Gen 3, it's a pretty cool Pokemon, though not very viable, not very good. It's cool as like a special pursuit user that can threaten and trap both of the most relevant spinners in the game, Starmie and Claydol. And it has a speed tier that others can't match in that format, which is like... Hits 372 max, which ties with Dugtrio and Alakazam and one other guy who I forget. Yeah, cool Pokemon, but... And there's also Leech Seed subsets. It's got unique coverage in that gen, but it's not very good, and it hasn't really been good from then. It's like... Of the Gen 3 starters, it's the least successful in terms of its Pokemon career over the years. It hasn't been great. It's... A lot of people on my physical special split video brought up the fact that Sceptile is a bit of a casualty of the physical special split, because its signature move was Leaf Blade. It has a lot of physically oriented options, and that doesn't really work when its special attack is higher, does it? Sceptile got a bit owned by that, but you know, Unburdened gave it a bit more to do. I think it's got acrobatics, doesn't it? That's a set in RU. Swords Dance Acrobatics. That's a bit of fun. That gave Sceptile a bit of identity, but still, you know, it's like the worst Unburdened user, probably. It's not what particularly comes to mind when you think of an Unburdened user. I like Sceptile, but it has a bit of a lack of identity. Up next is going to be a bit of a fan favorite for many, Blastoise. 10 out of 10 in the visual design department. I mean, this is an iconic Pokemon. It's a turtle with cannons on it. It's just cool. Kids love it. It's big and strong and epic. This Pokemon really didn't do much until it got Shell Smash, though. It still has Shell Smash, doesn't it? Which I think was only in like Gen 8 or 7. I think it was Gen 8. Before that, what did Blastoise really do? I think it was outclassed by other water types every gen. It had Rapid Spin. It's got like good coverage like Ice Beam. Does it get Knock? No. It's a shame, because this is one of the most classic Pokemon designs ever, and yet the Pokemon itself isn't very interesting. Doesn't stand out among other water types very much, except for when it got Shell Smash, and then... To be honest, I don't like Shell Smash sweepers. I think Shell Smash sweepers are like some of the most annoying offensive threats for their ability to just win in a single turn and sweep games, so... Yeah. It's like, it was boring, and then it became something that is more distinct, but that I don't enjoy. So there you go. That's Blastoise. It's this high up, honestly, out of respect. Out of respect for its classic visual design. It almost should be lower, right? It almost should be lower because of how little it actually offers compared to other water types. Up next, I've placed Decidueye Hisui. I think this is a cool Pokemon. It's another grass fighting. I guess this is the other grass fighting type starter, isn't it? I didn't think of it because it's an alternate form guy, but there it is. I like this Pokemon has some unique qualities. It's got Scrappy on it. It has Triple Arrows, which is a fun signature move with 3 different secondary effects, which is a bit novel. I don't think this Pokemon will be very good. I think it'll probably be like UU. Maybe it'll be fun to use in those tiers though, and it is a pretty original design in all regards, right? It's got a nice... I like its hat. Its color scheme. It's a cool twist on the original Decidueye. yeah, cool Pokemon, but there are others that I think I like more. And we haven't tried it out yet, so maybe my appreciation for it will grow. On paper, I don't think it's that... It's like cool, but not that cool. Maybe as we try it out, I'll appreciate it more. Up next we have Cinderace, who is a Pokemon that I used to actually really dislike. It's another, you know, humanoid kind of design. And back in Gen 8, this guy was broken as hell, right? This was a Uber's Pokemon. And it was, when it was in OU, it was absolutely dominating. It was going nuts. But now that it's in Gen 9 OU, and it's more reasonable for the power level, I've grown to appreciate Cinderace a little bit more. Its visual design has grown on me. I think you compare this to like Delphox. Cinderace has the whole soccer theme going. It's a bit... Something about it is a bit nicer. It's not great or anything, but it's grown on me somehow. And I like its move pool. It's got an option like Gunk Shot. It's got Libero for... It's a nice fast pivot guy with Sucker Punch and options like that. I think it's a good presence in the metagame. Its options are appreciated, and now that there's like the Protean nerf and also just a generally different metagame with a different power level, Cinderace feels much more reasonable, and it stands out among like other fire types. It stands out among other Protean users. It's a distinct Pokemon with a set of options that makes it unique. And its visual design I've warmed up to as time has gone on. I enjoy Cinderace. Up next we've got another Protean user, Meowscarada, who... I'm sort of mixed on the visual design. I'm neutral on it. I think it's a bit weird looking, a bit bad. I've criticized its name in the past, Meowscarada. It's a bit long and full of syllables, but I think I have warmed up to it. I'm used to saying it, and you can just shorten it to Meow conveniently, so that's alright. I think this Pokemon's a great presence in OU. It is... I like its move pool. It's got like Knock, Flower Trick, which... Flower Trick is a great signature move. It has high power, blows through defensive boosts, which the meta needs against stuff like Iron Defense, Garganical, Cursed Dondozo, stuff like that. It just fits well in Gen 9 OU. But it isn't unreasonable to answer either. Like, Corviknight can handle it pretty well, although it will take a knock, you know. You can just take that knock and have a wall for it the rest of the game. It also has different sets, like the Overgrow set with Focus Sash that you lead with. You run Leaf Storm. It's got fun options, like it's got Play Rough for Crovage to hit Dragapult or something. Spikes, Toxic Spikes, Taunt. Thunder Punch is a nice way to actually punish Corviknight switch-ins, which is like... Probably makes you less good overall, but specifically counters like the thing that you bait in the most, which I think is fun. Yeah, I think it's a lot of modern Pokemon design is just like, let's give this guy big stats, make it really overwhelming, and it just clicks stab. Meowscarada, I feel like they thought about it a little bit more. I don't know how much they think about these things or how much like a Pokemon being fun and good comes down to random chance. It really is a mystery a lot of the time, but I feel like with Meowscarada, they maybe there's a bit of copium. I feel like they thought about it a little bit. They gave it this set of tools that are like distinct and interesting. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my you know what. And next we have Skeledirge, the fire type starter from Generation 9. This Pokemon is awesome. It has a great name, Skeledirge. One of the better names in Gen 9. A lot of the names in Gen 9 are a bit weirdo. They have, I think, like in Gen 8 and 9, there were a lot of bad names. But Skeledirge is a nice, catchy, classic name. Its visual design is my favorite of the three starters. It's a cool fire crocodile. Can't go wrong with that. It's got a unique type combination. It's got Unaware on it. And it has a great moveset for the competitive singles context. It's got Will-O-Wisp, Slack Off. There's even those sub-Torch Song sets. Torch Song, great move. You may notice that another Gen 9 starter is above this guy. The reason this isn't higher, the reason it's below the other guy, is because it's a little bit annoying to fight. It's a little bit annoying to fight. It has boots on, and it Terra Fairies, and it just Will-O-Wisp Slack Offs. It's a bit of a roadblock against offensive fellas. It's like it's like as close in Gen 9. Gen 9, like, stall isn't great or anything. It's not, Gen 9's an extremely fast-paced metagame. But Skeledirge, sometimes I'm up against it, and I let out a little bit of a sigh, like, here we go, I gotta play against this stupid. And it's one of the Pokemon that abuses Terra. It's, like, slightly annoying to play against, but also I like it. It's a flavorful and original design in pretty much every way, right? So I enjoy it, but I also kind of don't enjoy fighting it. So that's why it's a bit lower. And of course, you may have guessed Quaquaval. Quaquaval. Quaquaval, a name that I have been critical of. In my video covering Quaquaval, I've been a bit non-enthusiastic about the name. Rest assured that it has grown on me. Quaquaval has grown on me. The more you say it, the easier it gets. Quaquaval, Quaquaval. Say it 10 times. Quaquaval, Quaquaval. Its visual design's also grown on me. I thought, when I first saw this, I was like, this name sucks. This is a yuck-looking Pokemon. It's grown on me, man. I don't know. It's a funny duck. It's funny. It's a funny design. I like his little... He moves back and forth. He does a little dance. I don't know. Quaquaval has personality. And in terms of gameplay, I love it. Aqua Step, awesome. Swords Dance, close combat. You got the bulk up sets. You got Rapid Spin. This Pokemon feels... I think about this Pokemon and I feel a sense of, this is awesome. I want to add this to a team. I want to use it. Unfortunately, it dropped to UU. That sucks, doesn't it? Might be because of Walking Wake coming in. Meta shifts. You know, all that. Less reason to use it, but... In terms of... I'm a Quaquaval fan. I think it's the best and the coolest of the 3 Gen 9 starters. If you don't like its name and stuff, I understand, but... For all the Quaquaval defenders in the comments of that video, let it be known, I've become a Quaquaval appreciator. And I will continue to say the name Quaquaval even more in the future. I might even name my firstborn son Quaquaval, just for practice. Up next we have the original Decidueye, who... I kind of have it here out of respect for its visual design, largely. And I think this Pokemon's a bit of a shame, because I think they tried to make something cool, but it just kind of doesn't work in competitive. I like this guy's name. I like the whole Robin Hood archer theme going on. I like its ability Long Reach, which ignores contact. Like, on paper, this Pokemon is an awesome design. Its ability Spirit Shackle is fun. It's got like a great utility move pool. Knock, U-turn, Defog, Roost. I think that they tried to make a Pokemon that was cool with Decidueye, but unfortunately, it just kind of sucks. I hope in Gen 9, I predicted that maybe in Gen 9 UU this guy would have a niche. I think it could fit in that metagame because it can wall Sandy Shocks, it can come in against like Quag and stuff. And Talonflame's popular in Gen 9 UU for Flame Body, so I think U-turn with an immunity to contact effects has some merit in Gen 9 UU. Hopefully that'll be true. I don't know. I don't think it's dropped to UU yet, has it? Oh, it has. Okay, well. I'm behind the times, folks. I'm behind the times. I think tier shifts did happen because Quack dropped. Tier shifts happened recently. But yeah, I like Decidueye on paper in every regard. The only reason it's not higher is just because in practice it doesn't really work. But I like the typing. I like the visual design. I like the name. I like its move pool. Maybe the quality I don't like about it is the stats. They could have given it... A lot of the starters just have stats like this that are like in the 70s on bulk and never go much further than 100 in any stat. You could give them more stats or distribute them better to make it more viable. Just patch in more health for Decidueye. Just patch it in. No one's going to notice. Yeah, I like Decidueye, but it sucks, unfortunately. Hopefully Gen 9. After this vid, I might honestly build a Gen 9 UU team with Decidueye on it. I didn't even know it was available there yet. You learn something new every day, folks. Up next, we have Venusaur, who, as a child, was my favorite starter. I think it was my favorite Pokemon for a little bit. I was always a fan of Bulbasaur in the original Pokemon Red and Fire Red. And I think... I like, in Gen 3 OU, Venusaur has a solid niche. It is a grass type that is like decently fast considering that it has sleep. Not much gets sleep moves in Gen 3. It can outrun stuff like Skarmory and Breloom, and it has a speed tier that is pretty nice for a sleep user, and then it has Leech Seed, which is a safe move. It's got... And then you can do the Grass Fire coverage combo. You can run Sludge Bomb on some sets. And then in Gen 5, I think it got Chlorophyll, and it became kind of the staple Sun Abuser, where you got Venusaur with Solar Beam, a speedy Sleep Powder, which is very difficult to answer. I used this guy all the time when Gen 5 was current, and Sun teams and Chlorophyll... Well, Chlorophyll was not yet banned. I was spamming Venusaur teams. I loved it. Of course, that was overpowered, and I'm not opposed to it being banned. It was a bit overwhelming for the metagame to be all about weather wars and fast weather sweepers. That can always result in a bit of a wacky metagame. Let's say that. But I enjoyed using it back then. I got fond memories of all that, and in like Gen 7, you can have fun goofing around with a Sun team. Venusaur, I like it overall. It's not the best. It probably will not be very viable in Gen 9. It has been outclassed by many other new Sun abusers. And Sun, prior to Gen 9, wasn't great. The Sun abusers weren't fantastic. Venusaur used to be the best of them. It was like the reason to run Sun, because you can sleep stuff. Hit big solar beams. It even got Weather Ball after a point, but yeah. It probably won't be great in Gen 9. Up next we have the Pokemon Blaziken. Blaziken, folks. Who I think in its debut generation was an awesome design. In Gen 3, with the fire-fighting stab combo, you could threaten both Skarmory and Blissey. It was a great mixed attacker. It was the first firefighting type ever. And then in Gen 5 it got speed boost and became a broken monster. It's interesting. This is such a cool design. And it's funny because it's a chicken, but it looks like an epic... This is one of the coolest chickens of all time, right? It looks like a... I don't know, it looks like an anime character, like a Mega Man boss something. But it's a chicken. As a child, everyone loved Blaziken. Blaziken was the fan favorite among the school playground. It's an awesome Pokemon. It rose to the heights of Ubers, even. The speed boost Blaziken I like less than the mixed attacker Blaziken. And the mixed attacker Blaziken isn't that great in Gen 3. It's usable. It's fun. It's a bit underrated even. But there are other mixed attackers that outshine it a bit, like Salamence and Charizard and others, even Tyranitar. But Blaziken, if you're a fan of Blaziken, you want to use it for its mixed attacking potential. You can use it in Gen 3 OU. I've climbed with such a team. I've used it in tournaments even. It's fun. It's viable. And back in Gen 5, I played Ubers back in the day, and I loved using Blaziken in Ubers. I was probably a noob. I don't know how good Blaziken is in Gen 5 Ubers in modern day. Maybe it's probably still good, right? It's such a good offensive threat with like low kick to hit all those heavy legendaries, but you know, It is a more one-dimensional thing, but it's also uniquely broken, right? It was one of the first speed boost abusers like that. And then we got a Spathra later. Cool Pokemon. Classic, I might even say. Up next I have Rillaboom, who... I definitely think this is the coolest of the 3 Gen 8 starters. It was a staple of the Gen 8 OU metagame. It's a big gorilla banging a drum. Love the visual design. I love a nice gorilla. Can't go wrong with a gorilla. Perhaps the coolest animal? Perhaps the most epic animal? I'm a fan of the Donkey Kong franchise. I'm a fan of gorilla-based media. You can't go wrong with a gorilla. And this guy, it sets... With Tapu Bulu gone... Or did the Tapus return? I don't think they did. Oh, am I literally stupid? I didn't play Gen 8. My Gen 8 knowledge gap is one of my greatest shames. The Tapus did return, but Rillaboom... As I knew, of course, I already knew this, but Rillaboom in fact outclassed its counterpart, Grassy Terrain setter, Tapu Bulu, with its superior move, Grassy Glide, as well as U-turn for pivoting. This is common knowledge. It's common knowledge, really. I'm excited for Rillaboom to return. It is returning with Pokemon Home, and it will be a good new addition to the metagame. I have seen people say that without Grassy Glide, which it no longer has anymore, Grassy Glide being its 70 power priority attack, boosted in grassy terrain, that without this move it won't be good. I think I disagree. I mean, with the lack of other terrain setters available, I don't think many other good terrain setters are coming back. The best we've got at the moment is in DD, who is not great. I think Rillaboom will be good. For enabling, I mean, I've got a day 1 team in my head with Grassy Terrain plus Grassy Seed Sneasler plus just chuck Pelipper Basculegion on there, and you can probably just run those 4 and go crazy. Who even needs 2 more Pokemon? That's going to just sweep everybody. But I think that the meta is going to appreciate a Grassy Terrain setter and a physical grass type wall breaker with excellent moves such as knockoff, U-turn, and, you know, big grass type stab boosted by the terrain. You could even use, I'm sure Sneasler will get banned, but you can enable Holucha with a Grassy Seed for Unburden. I think people are overreacting a bit about the Grassy Glide being lost. I think Rillaboom has a lot going for it, and I think one of the most unique and flavorful starter designs that we had seen in years at the time. I'm a fan. I like it. Up next we have Samurott Hisui. I think that they really knocked it out of the park with Hisui and Samurott. This is a awesome visual design, an awesome remix of the original Samurott that I think ends up being a little bit cooler. It's got sharpness and the absurd move Ceaseless Edge. I think that it's going to be great. It's Water Dark type. I think it's going to fit right into OU. I might be wrong. I could see it due to its like low stats, poor bulk, whatever, maybe dropping, but I don't know, man. Ceaseless Edge just sounds nuts. Ceaseless Edge sounds insane. I'm excited to try this guy out. One of the most exciting up-and-coming Pokemon coming to Pokemon Home. I think everything points to this being an epic Pokemon. It might even be it might be a little bit annoying with his ability to attack and set spikes, but I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to trying Samurott. I don't think it'll be that overwhelming because of the fact that it is a bit weaker stats-wise. It's got some exploitable type weaknesses and ways to handle it, I'm sure. I'm excited to see how it affects the metagame and how it feels to use in-game. Up next we have Infernape. Formerly my favorite Pokemon ever. Love the visual design, the simple wordplay in the name. The way it plays in-game is fantastic. It is the second firefighting type. It's similar to Blaziken, but it sets itself apart with its higher speed. And its great offensive move pool, operating in Gen 4 OU as a great mixed attacker, and, you know, it can even specialize as a physical or special attacker. I used to love running a choice band Infernape back on Pokemon Online. And all the different kinds of Infernape sets, the mixed sets, rock sets. It's a versatile Pokemon with many options. This is probably where my love of mixed attackers spawned from, was using this guy back in the day. Unfortunately, in the current Gen 4 OU climate, Infernape has really fallen off in viability. And I've grown more and more, I should say less and less fond of Gen 4 OU as time has gone on. I used to think it was my favorite metagame, but I don't know. The meta has skewed towards certain strategies that I don't enjoy playing against, and I've come to appreciate Gen 3 OU over the years. But I'll always have this fondness for Infernape. Infernape was like the Pokemon that really made me love competitive Pokemon. The fact that it had so much variety in its sets and the way you could kind of specialize it in certain areas, I thought was just awesome. And the creativity that comes from that, you know? It's where my love of mixed attackers comes from, is this fella. It's a great Pokemon. It's awesome. Up next we have Swampert, who is a staple of the Gen 3 OU metagame. It's the defensive backbone of the entire format. It's a bit like the, you know, Landorus, Therian, Great Tusk in terms of a splashable defensive Pokemon. Old reliable, the go-to guy. What I like about it is that, unlike other Pokemon with that kind of role and identity, it doesn't have like a broken free progress move like... Well, it gets Stealth Rock later, but it doesn't have Stealth Rock in Gen 3. It doesn't have Knockoff or Hazard or Scald or anything like that. It gets Scald later. I'm talking about in Gen 3. It's just got this perfect Water Ground type combo. It's the way that it shapes the metagame in Gen 3, where it's simultaneously so reliable and checks so many of the most common things like Tyranitar, Salamence, Aerodactyl, Metagross, the big four physical attackers. Swampert can handle all of them. But it also creates fun gameplay in the sense that you can wear down and bait in a Swampert. It's like a point of pressure that you can apply to someone. You can force their Swampert in, make progress against it, and Swampert does not have healing. It doesn't have, you know, free progress, all these OP ideas. You can use like Rest Swampert, but that's sacrificing a move slot. There's obviously 2 turns of sleep involved. Not the most common set on Swampert. You can Toxic it, you can run a Surprise HB Grass, catch it off guard. It's got that exploitable ×4 weakness to Grass that you can take advantage of. This is just kind of like everything that a defensive Pokemon should be. Where it's reliable, it does its job, but then it's also exploitable. It's not like Toxapex or something where you can switch into it pretty much for free, even against super effective hits. Click Scald, click Knockoff, click Toxic, whatever, make Toxic Spikes. Heal back with Regenerator as you're switching out, the world's safest thing in the world. And then, you know, it even has Recover as a sick joke. Just give Toxapex Recover as well. It already has Regen, Protect, Chip Heal, everything on the planet. Let's also give it a Recover. Obviously, they've removed all those options, but in Gen 7 and 8, I really can't stress enough how much I dislike Toxapex. And I think Gen 3 Swampert is like the perfect blueprint for what a defensive Pokemon should be like. This is what it handles so many things in one slot while also being perfectly manageable and exploitable. It can't heal forever. It's a defensive resource. If you take too much damage on your Swampert, if you use it poorly, you're going to lose the game. You're going to, you know, it invites all this nuance and strategy in Gen 3 OU that I appreciate. But that's only in Gen 3. In Gen 4 onwards, it became less interesting because it got rocks. In Gen 4, it's just like a rock setter. It kind of has the same qualities of check and stuff, but much of its viability in Gen 4 comes down to the fact that it can click rocks, which is just such a powerful one-turn click that just dominates the game from that point. I think every set runs rocks. And then in Gen 5, it has Scald. So it kind of becomes part of the problem that I'm talking about, where it's got rocks and Scald on it. I think it's like UU in Gen 5. And yeah, you switch to it safely, and then you can just throw out Scald, Fish for a burn, or make rocks and get permanent progress. But anyway, Gen 3 Swampert is a great Pokemon. Up next I have Empoleon, who is just awesome, right? Isn't Empoleon just awesome? Empoleon has... It's an epic metal penguin with a cool trident on it. Really awesome visual design. Unique type combo. Great type combo. What's its ability? Defiant. That's fun. You know, as much as I dislike Gen 4 OU, one of my favorite things about it is using Empoleon. It's just a nice Pokemon to use. It's got all these... It's got a few different sets. You can run like Agility Papaya Berry Sub. That's a fun win condition. It is a good lead. As far as rock leads go, it feels like a reliable one. You can run like rocks, Hydro Pump, Aqua Jet on it. Something I kind of dislike about Gen 4 is the fact that lead matchups can feel very random. You know, you lead with like a Zelf Rock Setter lead, and they have, I don't know, Aero, something faster. It's like, okay, they're going to taunt or what? It just comes down to like, are they going to rock or are they going to taunt? And if it's a speed tie, it's even more hellish. I find Empoleon is kind of anti-BS in the way that it can navigate lead matchups. It's like pretty good against most leads. And it's one of my favorite leads to use in that format just because if you're up against something that taunts, you can just attack it, which is not that bad. And I guess a lot of stuff can just make rocks. So I enjoy it for that reason. And all its different offensive sets, its typing, its flavor, its design. I think it's a great Pokemon. Up next, number 2 on the list. We're getting at the upper echelon of the list, folks. Number 2, we got Greninja. This is like a more recent Pokemon, only from Gen 7, but I think that this Pokemon has entered like the pantheon of classic, iconic Pokemon. It was in Smash, obviously. Its design is so cool. It's a cool ninja with its tongue as like a hood. I love the visual design of Greninja. I love the name of Greninja. The first Protean Pokemon, I mean... Protean was a bit... Sorry, it wasn't from Gen 7, it was from Gen 6. My mistake. In Gen 6, Protean was too broken. Too overpowered, but... And then in Gen 7, Ash Greninja came out, and Ash Greninja became the more popular way to use Greninja, which I always disliked, because I do think that Gen 7 Protean Greninja was a cool presence in the metagame. It was a nice Scarf user. There was the Spike set. You could get pretty custom with it. It had a lot of coverage. It could Gunk Shot the Tapus. You could Gunk Shot a Tapu Koko or something. I always enjoyed using it. And I think, yeah, Protean, it's a cool ability. Its visual design's great. All around, they kind of nailed it with Greninja, didn't they? It's in a bit of unfortunate limbo in Gen 6, isn't it? Where it's too good for OU, not good enough for Ubers. But from then on, I think it's been a fun Pokemon to use. I'm enjoying it in Gen 9. Doesn't feel too overbearing. Feels like a good presence, I think. And I'm glad that Ash Greninja is no longer a thing. Some people are sad about that. I think Ash Greninja was bad. If I could rank Ash Greninja, I'd put it in the lower level of the list, because it's like exactly my problem with a lot of Pokemon, you know? What if we take this Pokemon that has this interesting ability, Protean, we just remove that and give it this ability that's basically just, let's increase my stats and gear me more towards using Stab. Ash Greninja just spammed Water Shuriken and Hydro Pump and Dark Pulse, where original Greninja had all this set variety, all these different ways you could use it, all this coverage. Ash Greninja is so much more one-dimensional than Protean Greninja. I'm glad Protean Greninja is now back in the metagame. It's not even that great, is it? It's a bit interesting that a former Uber, similar to Cinderace, is now not so crazy, but... And number 1 on the list is something that people might take issue with. It is good old-fashioned Charizard. Charizard is like the true icon of the entire franchise. It's one of the most, probably the second most iconic Pokemon behind Pikachu. And for many years, I always thought Charizard was like the noob's answer to the who's your favorite starter. It's, you know, the cool dragon from Gen 1. It's an obvious choice. Who's going to pick Charizard? It's like picking Mario with Mario Kart or something. It's the obvious. It's like saying your favorite Seinfeld character is Jerry. Like, come on, man. You're going to pick Charizard? But I don't know. I think that what really made me appreciate Charizard was Gen 3 OU. There was a bit of a Charizard renaissance a couple of years ago where the player Undisputed made that Charizard Breloom team and made everyone realize, wait a second, Charizard's good in this format. And then more developments came. It started being used on Spikes. It actually rose to OU. And Charizard is one of the best mixed attackers in Gen 3 OU, with its ability to threaten Skarmory, Blissey, Swampert at the same time. And that's the most popular defensive core. I think Charizard is my favorite Pokemon to use in Gen 3 OU, and Gen 3 OU is my favorite metagame. So I'm kind of ignoring Charizard in every other context, but in that context, it's my favorite. I love it. I've got the team that I hit rank 1 on the ladder with featured a Charizard on it. I like the fact that it has like both Beat Up and Focus Punch as ways to threaten Blissey. You can run Overheat on it. It's not that deep of a Pokemon, but it just kind of, it's fun to use because it's like a gamer's Pokemon. It can threaten pretty much everything. And I love a Pokemon that can do that. It represents such a threat against everything. And then it's kind of in your hands to click the right button to go in. And I've really come to appreciate this simple and classic design of this Pokemon. It's a simple fire dragon. I don't know, it's nothing special, but it's also it's like Mickey Mouse level of simple and iconic, where it's this recognizable silhouette. You know, it's like you can kind of understand why Charizard is so iconic just looking at it. You can really, it makes sense. Like, of course, this is the most beloved Pokemon ever or whatever. Yeah. So, largely because of the rise of Charizard in Gen 3 OU. And one of my favorite things about Gen 3 OU is that Fire Flying is a great type combo because Stealth Rock doesn't exist. You know, Fire Flying's really good because it can come in against Metagross and you're immune to Dugtrio or Arena Trap. So every other fire type sucks against Doug. They get trapped, they get destroyed. Spike chipped, all this stuff, but Fire Flying is great. It's got a valuable defensive and offensive merit. And that's why Charizard is my #1 starter Pokemon of all time. Hope you enjoyed this list, folks. Wow. I didn't realize I was recording for 58 minutes. That's a long time. What the hell's up with that? There's too many starter Pokemon. They got to stop making these games, folks. They got to stop it. They could have not released Inteleon. They could just put Squirtle in the game again or something. Some of these don't have to exist, but that's all right. Thank you for watching, everybody, if you've watched this whole thing for whatever reason. I have some stuff in the works that I can't upload yet, which is why I've done this off-the-cuff video today. Hope you guys liked it. More edited content soon, including some video requests from patrons. If you're a patron watching this, fret not. I'm working on it. If you guys want to request a video topic, such as favorite water types of all time, favorite grass types in history, greatest Intimidate users in competitive UU history, become a tier 3 patron and you can request a video topic for me to cover. Look at all these awesome patrons. These guys are epic. And you'll notice they have a little Pokemon next to their name. If you become a patron, you can shoot me a message and tell me what your favorite Pokemon is. I will chuck it next to your name on this fun end screen. And you're going to have fun. You're going to love that. Really. You're going to love it. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye. You guys are the best. You guys are great. The fans are my favorite. Of all things on Earth. Can you guys hear that? There's I think a fire engine going by or something. But that's all right. It's because Charizard switched in. That's why. Okay, goodbye, everyone.